fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today to share with you a finish. I'm super excited that I managed to finish something else. Hopefully I have a few more finishes in me before the end of the month, but we'll see how it goes for me. I am done with this kit. This is the one that I kitted up in my Forever Young. So I'll talk about that in a future video. So if you're interested in following me for that, please make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. I had plenty of drills to finish everything. I didn't run out of anything. I did substitute quite a few ABs. So let's look at those and see what I did run out of. Some of them I actually ended up not using. So this particular AB I ended up not using, and then I had this out as pixie dust. I also had the same color out for ABs, and I ended up using the ABs instead of the pixie dust. So those two did not get used. I did use 5 additional ABs. This one I actually ran out of, so I'm happy about that. This is the AB that I used instead of the pixie dust, so I have quite a bit left of those. This one I'm getting close to being out of, but this color actually didn't get used very much in the kit, so that's okay. This one I think I used it maybe once or twice. This was a color that was in the background, so I just felt like the ABs weren't a good fit. I did use quite a bit of this pixie dust, and I'll point those out when I show you the canvas. Then the other two that I used a lot of were my Diamond Dots Round Gold. This was probably twice as full when I started, so I still have some left for another project, but used quite a bit of them. And then I used a lot of these, and these are copper ones. I believe I bought these when I was doing Jules and Verne a couple years ago, and I just didn't end up using as much of them in Jules and Verne as I thought, so I had almost a whole bag of these left. So super happy that I managed to use as many of these in the kit as I did. So those all got added in extra. And then let me show you the trash. This was kind of a large kit, so I'm not surprised that I had quite a bit of trash. Some of it you can see is just like little bits and bobs, things like the copper ones. That one got printed on the wrong side. Some of them, you can see that one, the bottom is too big, misshapen, that kind of thing. I will say quite a few of these are ones that were little stowaways, the wrong color of a drill, in like there'd be a pink in the greens or whatever, and so I just toss it in my trash. So this kit is 92 by 41, so for the size of kit, not a ton of trash, and this is an older kit, so super happy about that. Okay, so now that we've talked about all of the drills and all of that, let me grab the canvas and we'll talk about it. And here it is. It is much too big to fit the entire thing on screen. So I have, of course, taken B-roll so that you guys can kind of see the whole thing as I talk about it. I took a little bit of a different approach with this one. I actually did the two sides and worked my way to the books and did this dragon with the cookie over here first, and then I did this dragon over here second. That way I could take care of a lot of the background books and everything before I got to the actual books in the bookshelf themselves. I mean, that's 2/3 of the canvas, basically, both the dragons on either side. And then once I got to these books, I worked from the bottom up because I knew that I was going to be wanting to put names of things in the top parts. So I wanted to do the bottom parts and get it finished as much as I could. And also because I was putting off what I was going to do at the top because I didn't know. So you can see here all the different ABs. There's blue ABs in both of their eyes. There's, of course, green ABs in the dragons themselves. You can see all the little embellishments on the books. I put in mostly the copper, except for this book, I did all the embellishments in gold. In retrospect, I wish I had done a second book in gold as well, but I don't. But realistically, I don't think I had enough gold to actually finish any of the other books because they had more embellishments, because I used so many on this one. So these all got the copper because I had more. I considered doing the copper in this little checkerboard design here, but decided against it and just did it as drilled. You can see in this one, see there's green ABs here. All the little jewels have some ABs in them. There's some green ABs there. You can see at the top of these books, that's my fairy dust. In the little gem here and here, those are my fairy dust drills that I added in. There is, of course, a blue that was here, and then I added in quite a bit of blue ABs down this book. Kind of wish now I hadn't done it that way, but it's done, so I'm happy with the way it turned out. There's a little niggly things, a couple things that I wish I'd done differently. I really like the way that I did the letters here for Homer. Oh, I guess I should explain that. So when I bought this, I think my original intention, because we are a family of four, that I was going to do like our family name on one book and then all of our names on the others. But when I sat down to kind of plan it out, several of us have longer names, and I didn't think I could fit them all on everywhere, in particular this. I didn't think there was going to be enough room for anybody's name in here, even the one of us that has the shortest name, and our last name wouldn't fit there either. So I just decided, you know what, I'm going to do authors that I really, really love. So this book says Homer. Homer wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey, the book about Odysseus, all of that stuff. Anyway, so I put Homer here. I did it in the same copper that I did all the embellishments, but I feel like it doesn't stand out enough because the book itself is so brown. So I kind of wish maybe I'd done it in a more contrasty color, maybe like this brown color up here. But I do like the way the letters came out. You can see here I made it try to make it look like Greek lettering. So I'm happy with it. I wish it stood out a little bit more, but I'm happy with the way the name came out. So as you may have guessed, I did favorite authors. So on this book, I did Poe for Edgar Allan Poe. I love Edgar Allan Poe. The Telltale Heart short story and his Cask of Amontillado story are ones that I taught a lot when I was teaching English. Love, love some of his work. So put him on here. And again, like I said, I did this one all in the gold. I just felt with all the embellishments here, the gold would look good. And I had enough to do, I knew I'd have enough to do one book. I was hoping to have enough to do two, but like I said, I don't think I had enough. So opted not to do that. And then on this book, like I said, I opted not to do the bronze on here, the copper on here. I probably could have. I think I had enough drills I probably could have, but I'm okay with it. I think it looks fine the way it is. And then I put in Harper Lee. I was going to do hers the same way that I did everyone else's, where it's just like one row of drills for the letters. But this book was big enough and the name is short enough, it just looked like it wasn't hefty enough. So I ended up doubling up on the drills here to make her name stand out a little bit more. Harper Lee wrote To Kill a Mockingbird, if you're not familiar. One of my absolute all-time favorite books and movies. Love, love, love Gregory Peck in that movie. Every time I pass it, I will stop and watch it because I just love the movie so much. And the book is awesome. Also a book that I taught a lot. Then on the green one over here, this is one of the ones I'm not quite so happy about. I tried to plan them out so they looked symmetrical, because obviously that would be how they were printed if it was an actual book, right? I don't know what I did here, but I ended up with way too much space here at the bottom. I wish I would have shifted this down a little bit more. The problem was basically just me being lazy, because all the rest of them went kind of up to here before you got to the part where the names were going to be. And this one, so I had already drilled all of this and I just got lazy and didn't feel like picking a bunch of them off. I picked a bunch off to do the T and the E anyway, but I didn't realize until after I was done that it wasn't really kind of centered and I had all this big space here. So I kind of wish I had realized that before I was finished, because once I was finished, I was like, I'm okay with it now. It doesn't bother me enough to take it off. Charlotte Bronte wrote my all-time favorite book ever, and that is Jane Eyre. If you haven't read it, go read it. It's an awesome book. I love Rochester and his tortured soul and all the secrets in the book. If you're not into Victorian England, that's perfectly understandable, but it's one of my favorite books ever. Probably my all-time favorite book. So I wanted to include her in this series. I don't think I explained about Homer. I love Homer. My name, Daphne, is a Greek name. My mom named me after some Greek actress, person, I don't even know. Just I've been told my whole life I was named after whoever that was. So Greek things have been a thing for me my whole life. I have studied a lot of Greek mythology. I took ancient Greek to learn how to read ancient Greek. I did actually read some passages from Homer, not the whole book, but some passages. So anyway, so that's why Homer. So Homer, Poe, Bronte, Lee, and then this last book, which is kind of strange to me. Now, this part down here, except for the copper, I did as charted. In looking at the original image, of course, all the books had embellishments, but on this particular book, I guess just because of the shading, this does look more green and then this is darker, but it looks a little weird in drills, if that makes sense. It probably doesn't when I step back away from it, but while I was drilling it, I was like, hmm. So you can see the green ABs here, and then it's green here, and then it's this really dark brown, and then there's some white for highlights here. And then it was this kind of color here, and then I started adding in ABs. I actually ran out of ABs, this AB over here, which I figured was okay because it didn't really show up down here, so you can't really tell that I ran out. But I had been substituting, these two colors were originally just regular drills, and I substituted ABs, and now I'm wondering if I had just done the regular drills, maybe this name would be a little bit easier to read. I wanted to do it in blue, and I thought this one was going to be dark enough. I think it isn't, but I didn't have another darker blue. I could have gone and gotten like an 820 or 939 or something. Maybe that would have looked better. I considered doing it in this color here, but I didn't have enough drills left. And this is another one where I started at the E and I thought I'd made it so it was going to be kind of centered, but I wanted the letters to look really tall and skinny. And so when I got to the W here, I thought it would take up more room because I needed to do angles, but it looked too weird because it was like basically as wide as 3 of these letters, and I thought that looked weird, so I ended up shoving things over, and then I ended up with more space up here than I wanted. I suppose I could have tried to do another embellishment or something in there. I didn't think of that until just now, so. And this one is for Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde wrote another one of my favorite books called The Picture of Dorian Gray. If you haven't read that, I highly recommend it too. He's also writes a lot of funny things. His play, The Importance of Being Earnest, is another kind of funny Victorian play if you haven't seen that or read it. But all in all, I'm super happy with the way it came out. Like I said, there's some little niggly things, like I wish I had kind of centered these two better. I wish both of these, the Homer and the Wild, were a little more contrasty. I feel like you can read this better on camera than you can in real life, which is okay. I'm hoping you can read the Homer better on the camera than you can in real life too. But it's done. I finished my third Spangler, so I'm on track for that. I have one more that is on my goals to finish. This one actually didn't take me that long. It was 35, 36-ish hours. I mean, it is round, so it went way faster than I thought. The dragons took a while because of all the confetti with all of their scales and everything. I think the books took the longest for me just because I was trying to sort out in my head where I wanted to put all of the extra embellishments, because I just kind of had a rough plan going into it. And then once you start drilling, you're like, does that look okay? Do I want to leave it like that? Sometimes the answer was yes, sometimes the answer was no. There were several times where I ended up picking things off because I didn't think it looked good. But it's all done now. I'm actually super happy with the way it came out, the two little niggly things aside. So yeah, another finish for me. This was actually a very large kit, so super happy to have this one done. This was, what did I say, 92 by 41, so whatever that works out in square centimeters. Probably not going to figure that out now just because it's finished now, so I'll just mark it off on my stash as one more completed. And then I will get to work on blue, and now I need to kit up my next large project, which is going to be the little baker kit that I unboxed not too long ago. So you guys will be seeing the kit up of that. I also need to unbox and get ready for the August DP along, which is, the theme is flowers, and I've got my kit picked out. I just need to get it open, kit it up, and be ready to go. So you'll be seeing that pretty soon as well. I think I'm gonna put the little baker kit in the Forever Youngs and test it out with squares, and then after I get done with that kit, then I'll report back about Forever Young. Fingers crossed, maybe either Little Baker or the one that I'm going to be doing for August has some static in it so I can finish up my static testing. I've done a little bit of testing on various things, so I have probably about half of the video done, so if you're interested in that, make sure that you have that little bell on so you get notified when I drop my next video. So leave me a comment down below and let me know, do you like my name picks for authors? If you have a favorite author, what would you have put on one of these books? Leave me a comment. Always love to know what people want to read. Reading is probably my number two hobby after diamond painting. So leave me a comment and let me know what author you like to read. Doesn't have to be a classic author right here. It can be any author. I'm always interested. I read contemporary books as well. So that's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of the video. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.